Alrighty then, my battery was dying, but I found a way to charge it. Boom! Modern technology. It's amazing. I should fully charge that at home, but I have this gadget that plugs into the cigarette lighter thing, and then I plug that into it. Anyways, it charges it while I drive. So yay! We're at 64%. That should be enough to charge my battery if it dies. And if not, there's loads of people that come here. And can give me a help on that. I forgot that I was doing videos on my birth stories. So birth story number 2. So with my daughter, another nightmare situation, which happened because I read Spiritual Midwifery, and in that book, birth was like a freaking sideshow, and all the hippies would get into the bus and like watch the birth, and I don't know why they allowed that, but you know, I guess they were just all excited and they wanted to see a thing that they would normally not get a chance to see, you know, whatever. I'm not judging. It's just a bad idea. So the point is, with my daughter, I went into labor, and called the midwives and everything. But then I called all the people to come watch me birth. It was so stupid. So I had, oh my God, what a nightmare. My 2 sisters were there whom were nurses. My sisters, both of them decided that their husband, boyfriend thingies needed to be there. The one husband was fine because he's kind of a dork and a physical therapist, and I don't know, he doesn't really bother me. That didn't really bother me to have him there. But the other boyfriend is like a nightmare loser thing, and my sister was forcing him to be there when he didn't want to be there. In addition, like, I don't understand why she, in any realm of her existence, would think I would want her there arguing with her retarded boyfriend. I love my sister, but her man decisions, fucking A, worse than mine. So that was weird. And then my quote-unquote mother-in-law, the grandma of the baby, was there, and she's a total tripper, like afraid of every goddamn thing. Like, she's totally brainwashed by the government systems, like totally brainwashed into the doctor medical bullcrap, like nightmare lady. And I wanted my little son to be there when I birthed, which in hindsight she might have been right about this, but she was interfering with that, and she had some weird relationship with my child, or obsession with him. So anyways, her being there was annoying, and she took my kid out of the room, which I wanted him to be there, which that was annoying. And I'm complaining about all my first births, but it's just what's true, you guys, so whatever. This was a home birth, and it just like my other birth, my first one. Except for this time the first one I lived at my sister's house, and I birthed in her house. Now I had my own house, and was birthing in my own house. My nieces came, which was cool, because they were all, you know, teenagers or young adults that may or may not give birth one day, so, you know, they could see what it's like. One of those nieces ended up becoming an emergency room doctor, which had nothing to do with my birth, had nothing to do with her decision of doing that, but that's just what's true. So it's kind of cool that the first birth that she ever got to witness and participate in by watching, she didn't do anything other than watch, was mine. So I really love her. She's great. She's cool human. And yeah, all my other nieces who ended up having have not all of them, but two of the others that have ended up having babies. Let's see. I believe my birth was the first birth, live in-person birth that they saw as well. Then my sister was there, probably my mom, I imagine. Can't really remember her being there. But basically my house was just full of like enormous amount of people, and I basically stayed in my room. I think pretty much stayed there, at least for the hard part of the labor, and birthed my baby in that room. The midwife had this like cattle feeding trough thing. It's plastic. That was pretty cool. She filled that up with hot water, and I sat in it and enjoyed that during part of my labor, which I didn't find that helpful, but you know, the idea was cool. And I have found water to be helpful at some of my births, extremely helpful. So just that particular one, it wasn't that helpful. I think I was just uncomfortable with all the audience and stuff, that was not helping. So then one cool thing that I want to include in the video is I had this Saint Bernard dog. She was a female, and she was like at my window and just like super, she seemed like she knew what was going on and had compassion for it. But now that now this very actual moment, I realized she probably just saw the people and wanted to come in. I thought it was all sweet, like, oh, she understands I'm in labor. Maybe she did, I don't know. But it also probably most likely was that there was loads of people in my room, and she's like, dude, why are you leaving me out here? Whatever. Just shows like that we don't know shit, and our perspectives of things are just like made up shit, but whatever. And then also, like, my midwife told me that like we started bombing in Iraq that particular day, so that's kind of creepy, being that whole thing was made up bullshit and criminal, but that's what was true. My daughter was born on September 1st. So again, the midwife checking my dilation decided that it was time for me to push. And so I was forced, no, let's see. It's forced-ish because I didn't know any better to say no. And I, to be honest, I did want to be done. So I didn't understand about the natural ejection reflex that happens or anything like that. So I was like, yeah, it's time to push to get this thing out of me. Woo, yeah. So it was about 15 minutes of pushing, and it was just felt like, trying to push out a constipated poo. It was not a fun party, and sorry, it's true. She was out, and the midwife decided that she was having gargling, which is so stupid. Like, the baby works that shit out. Like, she's fine. But she got one of her little apparatuses out. She probably just bought it or something, wanted to have a chance to try it. She was like, it's like a tube, and she put it in my baby's mouth, and then it was like a little compartment where that tube would go into, and then there was another tube where the midwife was sucking. And it was the thing was stupid and useless, but she used it anyways, and then freaked out all the, medical-minded, already freaked out people by acting like my baby couldn't breathe or wasn't breathing fine, but she was. Yeah, that was basically that birth. I didn't have any, I guess the midwife said there was a tiny tear, but not enough to sew. There was no hemorrhaging. The with that child, I was also vegan and super nauseous and miserable my entire pregnancy. So that labor was approximately 8.5 hours beginning to end. So was my first one. Forgot to include that. And that was the birth of that child. So I will end this video and do a whole nother video for the next birth. I don't know how I'm remembering details, but I guess they'll come to me. Okay, peace out. Mwah.